Hey guys, Gabe here. Welcome to another tutorial. It's been a while that I don't post anything on my channel, just because I've been busy with college and other stuff, as I said in my previous videos. So today I'm going to show you how to create this kind of particle explosion. It's a flat particle explosion. With a plugin Trapcode particular, so you need to have it to create this kind of effect that I'm show you right now. So let's start it. It's quite simple. I hope this tutorial will be shorter than the other one, and let's begin. So first of all, let's create a new composition with standard full HD properties, and let's create a new solid called particular. Okay, let's add the plugin called Trapcode particular, so from Red Giant. Okay, so right now we have a standard particle creation like this, but we need a different effects. So first of all, in the emitter section, let's set not continuous but explode. So we have an effect like this. Let's increase maybe the particles to 500 particles, and we have this kind of slow explosion. Next step, let's change the velocity to have a powerful explosion. Maybe let's set to 250. Let's see how it works. Okay, looks pretty nice. Next step, maybe let's set velocity random to maybe 40 to have more dynamic particle movements. Okay, next step, let's go to particles and set life maybe 1 second, or better 1 second and half. Okay, so they will disappear after 1 second and half, so 1 second and 15 frames in this type of composition. Next step, let's change the particle type from sphere to maybe let's change to square. I love this kind of particles. And maybe let's change the size to 6 or maybe 7, it's fine. Okay, so now we want to have this kind of movement, so maybe the particle starts at size 0, so kind of invisible, to maybe, I don't know, size 5 or 6, and then decrease gradually to 0 again. So to do that we have to work with size over life, this parameter here in particle section. So let's open size over life. Here we have a graphical settings, but we are going to go to preset to have a simple work. So maybe set the third here. So at the start we have size 0, increasing up to maybe kind of half a second, and then decrease to 1 second and 50 frame, as we said before. So here we have this kind of effects, which is good. Okay, so I'd like to have these squares rotating in some ways. So to set that, let's go to rotation setting here, and let's set maybe random rotation to 40. Okay, Okay, so here they start at a random rotation, so they are not in the standard position. And to have them rotating during this movement, we need to change this parameter, rotation speed Z. Maybe let's set it to 1. Okay, so as you can see, maybe let's set to full here. As you can see, they rotate randomly on themselves. Okay, so now we have this this first layer of particle explosion. Let's duplicate this layer. Okay, maybe called square 2. Okay, so we actually don't see it because the particle are at the same position at the previous layer. So to change them, let's change this parameter called random seed in a random setting. So this one is good. So as you can see, they changed their position. Okay, so let's change something. Maybe let's decrease the particle, let's second, to 350 maybe. Okay, maybe 300 is fine. Okay, then let's change the velocity first of all. Let's have it maybe 150 to have. Okay. To have a less powerful particle explosion, because we are going to increase the size of these particles. Let's go to particle here and let's change the size maybe to 15, maybe too much, maybe 12 is fine. Okay, maybe less, maybe to 10. Let's set them to 10. Okay, so we have this kind of explosion. Maybe let's decrease the rotation. We have random rotation. Maybe decrease this one to 30, and the rotation speed maybe half a second. Okay, it's fine. So let's change the color. Let's set a nice green like this. Okay. So next step, we're going to create this kind of particle, this kind of lines, which are a lot of particles very, very near to each other. So to do that, let's duplicate as we did before layer, and let's go to line particles. Let's change this color to red just to see on what particles we are going to work on. Okay, this is fine, and let's change as we did before the random seed. Okay, let's decrease the particle maybe to 100 because we want to have not more of these lines. So the main parameters of this kind of particles is the aux system. Let's set the emit to continuously. Now we have kind of old arcade, old games effects. All these nice squares. Okay, let's change the type to sphere, to have them with a sphere their shape, and let's increase the particle seconds maybe to 200 to have a kind of line. Okay, let's increase the emitter maybe to 150 to have more of them. Change the random seed to have. Okay, this is cool. Okay, so now we need to have this kind of effects, so like dynamic movements in the air, kind of. So to have that, let's work with the physics. To here turbulence field, and let's change the affix position parameters. Maybe not too much, maybe let's set to 50, and we have this kind of movement. Okay, maybe decrease the scale to 5 and the complexity to 2. Okay. Okay, it's quite nice in my opinion. So I want them to go further in the composition, so we need to increase the velocity of them maybe to 500. Okay, so we have them flying all over the composition these ways, which is good. And now let's do what we've done for the other particles with the size over life, but this times on the aux system parameters and not to the physics parameters as we did before. So aux system, and let's change the size over life. So preset, let's set the third preset, which is the best in my opinion, and we have this kind of particles movement. Okay, maybe let's change the size, maybe just decrease a little bit the size of this one. Here particles, no, here aux system, size maybe to 4. Okay, let's change the color. The color we can choose. We can have a gradient. So from the birth to the death of these particles, or we can keep the original particles color here, color from main, and set 100% to red. Maybe let's set this one to 100% and let's change the particle color, maybe on light blue one, which is good. Okay, last stuff, we need to delete these particles, just going here and set the size to 0. Okay. Okay, so maybe to have them more dynamic movements, let's change maybe this one, which is the bigger one. Okay, let's add some velocity to the smaller particles, maybe to 350. Okay, let's add some velocity also to the bigger one, maybe not too much, just 200, but let's increase the air resistance. You find this parameter on physics, air, and here air resistance, maybe to 1. so now we have more dynamic movements because these one are moving further in the composition, and those one maybe a little bit near of the center. Okay, so last stuff we are going to I'm going to show you is how to add a texture, how to add an image instead of the particles. Yeah, you can use whatever you want instead of these particles, like maybe a layer or maybe a simple image or texture, so whatever you want. So let's add my logo here. Let's mute it and let's duplicate this particle and call it particle texture. Okay, simple stuff. Instead of having a square particle, let's set a sprite here. Here you can you don't see anything changed, just because as we did before, we have to change the random seed. So let's change a little bit the random seed, and let's set here in this parameter texture, let's set our layer with the texture. So logo Gabri, which is my logo. Here you have a warning, your layer size is too big, but it's fine. Let's set OK. So here you can see a small logos. Now we can go maybe to particle here. Let's increase the size. Maybe let's decrease the particle at second to maybe 100 or 150. Let's change a little bit the random seed. Okay, let's increase maybe the velocity to 400. Okay, so just very simple. Okay, maybe a nice shadow works well here, so let's add a solid, which is the background. Okay, let's add a gradient ramp, maybe dark gray to maybe, I don't know, dark green here. Okay, maybe a little bit brighter here. Okay, this is nice. Let's mute my logos. Okay, so recompose all these layers and let's add a shadow. Drop shadow is good. Let's increase the distance maybe to 15 is good. The softness maybe to 3. And that's it. Last stuff, maybe a nice blur works well. So CC4 motion blur. Let's add to this adjustment layer. And let's run a preview, maybe in a half, so it will be faster. Here it is. So guys, hope you like it. I will put this template on free download here on the description, and that's it. Give me a thumbs up if you like it, and if you want more of this kind of tutorial, and that's it. See you next time, guys.